Alright, hello there, how are you doing? I hope you're okay. My name is Luke Davis from Agape India, and this moment again I want to welcome you back to our video editing classes. We've had a long weekend. Apologies that we never had our class over the weekend. It was due to some technical glitch, and we were able to fix it, and right now we are back. So without wasting time, ladies and gentlemen, let's dive into today's class. I normally prefer starting our classes from scratch each and every day, so that we're doing that we are able to take a quick recap of the things that we learned in our previous classes. So without wasting time, let us go ahead and open or create a new project. So this time I don't know the name I should give. Here let's just say Kampala. Okay, wherever that is, Kampala, that is the name of our project. I'm just going to go ahead and hit okay. So today I want us to proceed from where we stopped last time. Last time we were looking at how best we can play around with volume keyframes. We looked at how best we can create different footages or clip different footages, how we can join the footages. So I want us to start from there. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and import some footages here. So let me go to import, and oh god, I'm still going to use the same video. Please don't get tired of this young boy here. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, since I needed many footages, I'll just go ahead and break this into many footages. Always don't forget to click this so that it changes. Now let me drag the audio, then I can increase the timeline over here. Right, so since I needed like 3 or 4 footages, I'm just going to go ahead and cut it. Now I'll be playing with both the audio and the video. So let me just cut from here. Allow me to mute the audio because I don't want it to interfere with our classes. All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so last time we also introduced something about the speed, the duration and speed. We talked about how we can make our video to move in a slow motion or make it fast. We talked about that, and I'm going to show you another way of doing that when we come to the type tool or the text tool. We shall again do that, but in a different way. But for now, I want us to start from the point of joining videos. Now, each and every time you join a video, for example, assuming these were different footages, from here going to this, from this footage here going to the next footage, you don't realize any difference because our footages were just joined, like it jumps from one to the other. But what if we want to create some other effects? We call them transitions. If we want to transition from one video to another or from one footage to another, we can always add this transition. Now I believe that most of us are familiar with Microsoft Office PowerPoint. Yeah, in PowerPoint we can create these transitions to transit from one slide to another, but this one we shall be transiting from one footage or one video to another. So without wasting time, let us see how best we can do that. So from this project window, we have other options like the media browser, and next after media browser we have the effects. So you go ahead and click effects, then under effects we have options, but make sure the video that you're working on, you already know which one you're going to cause the transition. So let's just go ahead to video transitions. Please go to video transitions, double click and open. Now there are very many types of transitions and you can play around with them. So let's start with the first one here, 3D motion. Under 3D motion we have very many options, so you can choose any. Let's start with this one. Let's try cube spin. So just click and drag and put it between your videos. So let's try and play this video. Okay, now that is what cube spin does, but we can also bring a second one and replace it with the first one. Let's try it. Alright, so I hope you're observing these changes. Now these are the transition effects we've been talking about. You can go ahead and try very many others. That was 3D motion. I normally prefer using dissolve because it's the best for most of my videos. So I can try additive dissolve. This is what it does, additive dissolve. Okay, additive dissolve, it will dissolve from one video to the other without you noticing. You can see it just turns white and dissolves. We can also do cross dissolve, deep to black. Let's see what deep to black does. You see, the video goes to black and comes back. So it's very common in movies. Now, people who are doing movies, movie production, or comedy videos, short films, whatever you're going to do, always I would advise you to stick to dissolve. So under dissolve options, there are very many. You can always try them. So I can use dip to black, then dip to white. I can use dip to white in the next video. Okay, let me just select this one. I want to use dip to white in the next video. Okay, I can use dip to white there so that it will turn to white, then comes there like that. Then in the last one I can use dither dissolve. So dither dissolve, you may not observe because it was one footage and we just cut it. So if we play the entire video, this is what we have, ladies and gentlemen. You can see it is now all these are transitions. Now let us come back here. If I zoom this properly, you'll see that here, up here, it's written dither dissolve. In other words, up there they have written the effect I've just added. Even this one, dip to white, they have just written, or they're just trying to show us that the transition effect that we have applied, it's covering from this point up to this point. Now what if we realize it's too long? We can always bring the cursor to this point. That's why I was saying if I zoom it, because when it's like this you cannot see it. So zoom it properly. After zooming it, you can choose the one you want. Assuming you want this one here, bring the cursor onto it from the beginning, then click on all, then drag it towards the center so that you reduce the duration that this transitioning takes. For example, now you can see it's going to take very short time. You see, going to black and coming back to another video is taking a shorter time than before. You can also apply it in this second one. You can just drag this side, also bring the cursor here and drag it. Let's try it and see from the beginning. Now this is what we have, ladies and gentlemen. Now depending on the length of your video, you can always adjust these values or the length of these transitioning effects the way you want. Another way of doing it, instead of you coming to drag it from here, you can just come and you double click, not on the video, on the effect. When you double click, this window opens. Now from this window you will see that we have A, B. A is representing video A, B is representing video B. I beg your pardon. A is representing part A, part of the first video that this the effect is applied. Then B is representing part of the second video, not the entire video, please, I correct that. So you can choose the duration. So from here, when this window has opened, you can always come to this option of duration. You can always double click, then you change. This one is 17 microseconds. You can change to any value you want, let's say 10, in any way you want. Then you can also choose center at cut, start at cut, end at cut. Now all these are some of the effects you can add to this, but for you to access it, you'll have to double click. Okay, so you can try playing or previewing. Now these are two different videos. So okay, now let's try to preview. We have reduced it to 10 microseconds. It's really too much, too little. So let's try 20. I think 20 is better. 25. Okay, let's try 25. Now 25 works for me. Once you're done with that, it's under effects control. Remember, when you double click here, it will open the effects control. Now effects control shows different things, so we can always go back to the source window. So ladies and gentlemen, that is how best you can play around with the transitioning effect. Without wasting time, let us go ahead and learn something else, something different. Now this time around we are going deeper, so I would like you to be very attentive here. Now I want us to introduce what we call the type or the text tool. Okay, when you're using Adobe Premiere Pro CC versions, the text tool will always be displayed at this point. Let me go back on my project window. It will always be displayed amongst these tools, but since we are using Premiere Pro, it may not. Let's try changing the workspace to okay, we don't have graphics, but in CC versions it has graphics, and if we change it to it, we would access those. But it's okay, it doesn't matter. Let me just take back my workstation to editing. Now if you want to add the text from CS6, you come here where it's written title. In CC we said it's always here, but CS6 you come to title, then you click title, then you click new title, then you can choose between default still, default role, or what. But for now, let us choose default still, because you can make a default still to be a default role, but you cannot make a default role to be a default still. That's why I always say choose default still. Then it will open for you this, and it will ask you to give the settings. You can go ahead and click OK. It will open for you this window. Now this white part you're seeing, it's a preview of the video, but you can see the cursor has changed. It has brought for us a type tool, so it's asking you to type whatever you want to type. So I'm just going to click on the video. Let me say I want to type down here. I can click it there, and I type, let me say okay, let me just put this aside. Okay, this video was sponsored by Agape Media. Now, assuming that's the text I want to type, so I can come back to this selection tool, and under the selection tool, I can now go ahead and play around with the effects of this text. Now, here we have the text, the font style, or what we call the character. The font style, I can change it from here. I can use any that I want. Okay, let's just choose, assuming we choose this one, and you can always adjust the font size. It's to 100. We can just click and drag it to increase or reduce. I can choose this one. Yeah, I can choose that one. I can choose to change the color of the font. Let's make our font, let's change our font color. Now, where do we change it from? When you come back on this side here, on the sides here, that's where you can have now more of it. Still, the properties that we changed from here can also be changed from this side. For example, the font style can be changed from this one. I hope you can see the font style, the size, the aspect, all these effects. Now, people who are in our graphics classes, you understand this already. Now, I don't want to repeat it, but you can always change this to adjust on the font. Now, I'm interested in the fill color, so I will come to color, then I change the color. Okay, let me keep the color white. Then I will just add a shadow or a stroke. Let me add a stroke, outer stroke. I can put an outer stroke and make an outer stroke. Put it to color black. Okay. Now magnitude. I can just try something like, okay. Okay, now that is my stroke. I can just collapse or close that option. I can also add the shadow. Okay, I can play around with these values while observing the changes which is happening here. Once I'm done with that, I can come back and click on this text and I drag it to the position I want it to be. I can put it down here in the middle here. Once I'm done with that, I will just go ahead and close. Just cancel. Okay, when you close, you will see now that text will come here as a footage. Now with the CC versions, it will not happen like that. It will not come here. It will just come here straight on this timeline straight away, timeline window straight away. But for us here, it is better in CS6 because it comes here and you can click and drag it to where you want it to be. So we can put it up there. Okay, now we can adjust. We can play around with the length. Now you can see where our text is. Okay, so this text will be throughout from this point up to here, or let's make it shorter, up to there, so that the text will appear from here. So when we play the video, this is what we have. Now we have just put in a text tool. Now one thing I want you to notice is we have used a white font color or fill color, but we have created a black shadow and black stroke, because there are moments when the background or the video is white. So if the color is white, we shall not be able to read. For example, at this point here, you see at this point the video is white, but we are still able to read because we have put white shadow. So we can adjust. For example, let's add more stroke so that we can see properly. If we want to add more stroke, we just come back to this source window or project window. We double click and it will go back to this point where we were. Then we can go ahead where we had the stroke. Okay, we can either increase the stroke or the shadow. We were here, the magnitude, we can increase it more. Yeah, we want to see it clearly, we can increase it more. Also on the shadow, we can increase the size of the shadow also. Then we close it. Now this is what we have. So I think it's better. Even in a white space, we can still read it. So ladies and gentlemen, that is what we were talking about. Now we have just put our text. Now assuming we have another text, let's say we want this one to be from here up to here. Then we want another text. What we do again, we go to title and we repeat the same procedure as what we did in the other one. We can call it title 2. Then we write whatever we wanted to write. Go to the type tool here. Then we just select here and say, let's say edited by Luke Davis. Alright, so I'll just go back and select here. So I select it, I change the font size, font style rather. Let me use I can change to any I want. Let me use Metropolis, one of the fonts I love so much. Okay, and I'm going to just reduce the size a little bit to that. Then I'm going to, this time around I can change the color to black. Yeah, it's a choice. Okay, I can change the color of the font to black, and I make sure I have a white shadow. Okay, I can use a white shadow. There we go. Then I can also create outer strokes. Outer stroke. Okay, let me add outer stroke, but I make it the color to be also white. Then I can increase the size of the outer stroke. The color is white. Okay, the size I can increase it more. Now you can see it can be seen clearly, but let me change the font. It's under extra light. Let me change to regular. I can even say semi-bold to make it more interesting, but then the font size is so big. Let me choose font size that one. Then I will just close here because I'm done. Oh, I forgot, I had to reposition it. Let me bring it to the right position. I can bring it down here. Okay, now once I'm done with that, I'll just close this. Then I can just drag and put it where I want it to be. We already talked about choosing the track last time, so I don't want to repeat. Make sure you're careful with the track. What is in front, sorry, what is on top will always show in front. So that is it. Now we have two things, the first text and the second one. So let's play this video and we see. Okay, you see that? Now basically that's what I wanted to show us today, but then we can go ahead and make it more interesting. For example, at this point we realize that the text is showing here at this, mark that level, and yet this other text is showing a little down, so we want to take it up. So what we do, we come and select this text. After selecting the text, then we come up here to the source window and we click on effect control. Now what we're going to show right now is really so complex. I'm not scaring you, but I want you to be very attentive. Hold on, I want to be sure we don't have a very long video. Okay, we are still within time. So select the video you want, then you go and open the effects control. After opening the effects control, it will open up here. Now the first function here is what we call the motion function. Now people have been asking motion, want a text that can be scrolling on the screen, you know, like that of NTV that keeps rolling down there. It is all here. Okay, so this is something that we are going to learn for the next two classes. So for now we're introducing, but next time we shall again come back to it, because we can just start with the first one, which is the motion. So under motion we have position and scale. So for today, allow me to introduce to you scale, because scale we have only 1 point, one axis or one coordinate, whatever it is. So let us scale, because this second text it's bigger than the first one. So let's just increase the size, assuming we don't want to increase the size from here, from font size. You remember this one? Assuming we don't want to increase it from there, or assuming it wasn't a photo and you just wanted to, so it wasn't a text, let me say it was an object and you want to increase the size. So we would come here and you go to a scale, Then we increase the size a little bit. Hope you can see the size is increasing. Now you realize it's moving away from its position because it's becoming bigger. So that is what we call increasing or scaling. Now when we do this, what we have done, we have made the entire text to be of the same size. What if we want this text to start when it is very small and it increases? Let's show that effect in the second one. So we shall go and select the second text, then we come to motion. Sorry, under motion we have position and scale. So let us start with the scale. So drag the indicator to the beginning of the text, where the text begins. Okay, to the beginning of the text. We are still under effects control, please. All right, now you can see this is our indicator. The indicator is also up here, so bring it at the beginning. Then where there is scale, there is that symbol of an alarm clock, but inside it, it's when you bring the cursor inside it, it says toggle animation. So click on it. When you click on it, you'll see there's a dot here that comes. So select that dot, then come to scale here and play around now with the size you want. Assuming we want the video to start when it's very small, we can just drag it and reduce it to there. Okay, then we bring it up to the point where we want it to increase. For example, at this point, when we reach that point, again we toggle another one, we add another one. Now this time around, since we have already toggled it, we just come and add from here, add stroke remove keyframe. So we add the keyframe, then we select that keyframe, then we increase the scale, let's say to that one. Then now we drag it to the end. Okay, I'm going to increase the size so that I can see what I have here. Okay, let me just increase this side. Now I hope you can see this. The indicator is just at the corner here, so I'll bring it at that point. Then I add another keyframe, but this time round I'll just keep this value. You can see this value is 104. Also here it's 104. So it means from here it is what's the value here? At the beginning the value is at 9. Okay, so that's it. So our video will start at 9, then it will increase up to this point, it will be 104, then it will maintain the size. I mean the size of the text. Observe the text, please. Now this is what happens with the text. So if it's taking a very short time, we can drag this one this side so that it takes some time up to there. Alright, so we can just bring the indicator down. Let me just minimize this a little bit so that I can see what we have done. Can come back here and drag the indicator and play. Let's see what we have. Now I want you to observe that text. You see the way the text comes. Now that is the same way we play around with the scaling. We have not yet touched positioning, we have just touched scaling. We are scaling. What if we want to scale a video? Because here we have scaled a text. So let us try to scale the second video. This is our first video, remember? Now this is the second video. So we can still go to motion, then we scale it. What we do, we bring the cursor at the beginning of the video. Always. Sorry, the video starts from here. At the beginning of the video, then we toggle the scale so that we put there. Well, after putting that, then we come to under scale here, we reduce it to the one we want. Let's say 31, then we drag it at a certain point like there. Then we can add another keyframe. Then this time around we increase the scale. Make sure you select it before you increase. Then we increase it to 100%. Let me just write 100. Okay, now it means at the end it will also be maintained. So at the end of the video we add another one. Also we select it after adding, click to turn yellow, then it's kept at 100%. So let's play and we see. Now this is what we have so far, ladies and gentlemen. You see the way that video is coming, is scaling itself from smallest size up to the biggest size. So that is how we play around with the scale. I said at the beginning, you have to be attentive here. So if you have missed something, just go back and rewatch this video, and it will be very interesting. So in our next class, we shall now come to position. Position is where we shall create the rolling text effect from. It's all under position, but today I wanted us to play around with the scale. When we introduce a position, we shall talk about position. Again, we shall talk about position in relationship with auto scaling. So we shall do that before we can come to rotation, anchor point, and anti-flicker. We shall come to all that and play around with that. So ladies and gentlemen, I don't want us to make this video too long, because what we have just learned is really much. And one thing I've noticed is maybe we are not practicing, and so this is the reason why today we are having an assignment. And so without wasting time, let's have our assignment for tonight. It's a very simple one. It is a very simple task. Okay, the assignment goes like this. Record a video. If at all you already have a video, fine. Use this video to create a new project. Create a new project and have a video of a minimum of 1 minute. The length of the video should be a minimal size of 1 minute. And then in this video, I want you to apply the following effects. I want you to cut this video this footage into many footages, into many clips. After cutting them, I want you to apply different transition effects. I want you to apply in the audio of this video, I want you to apply different volume keyframes. In other words, I want at certain point the volume to be high, at certain point the volume to be low, and also I want you to apply other effects like the text tool. So all the effects we have been learning, or we have been looking at from the beginning of our classes, I want you to try as much as possible to apply these effects onto your video. Now, by doing that assignment, that is how I will get to know your progress, because I've noticed that I might be here talking and yet people are not understanding, people are behind. So please go ahead and do this assignment. It will help us to know the progress so far, so that in case there is a problem, we can come back and do it again, or to make that correction again. So please go ahead and do that. I repeat the assignment. Get a video footage, and in that footage I want you to go ahead and apply the effects that we've been learning. We have looked at several effects, such as creating different volume keyframes, putting a backup music, how do you call it? Yeah, a background music. We have talked about transition effects. We have talked about the type tool. We have talked about scaling and all those other effects we've talked about. Please try to apply them onto your video. And after you're done, please export your projects. We already know how to export, and then you submit your assignment via WhatsApp. Okay, the reason why we have chosen WhatsApp, because email might be too heavy for the email. So the reason why I also said the video should be short is so that the size is small. So make sure the video is small. Don't exceed 1 minute. Okay, 30 seconds to 1 minute, in that range, and make it short. Then send it on WhatsApp. You can send it directly to this number 0393 194 200. I repeat, submit your video assignment on 0393 194 200. Have the best of your time. My name is Luke Davis from Adobe Media. Let's meet again on Thursday with another class of video production. Bye bye.